Hello, I'm Tandy. Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be playing at Prowess with an energy package out of Modern Horizons 2. I'm already 2 in a league. This is a deck I was working on a bit last night and decided to start up a league, but it was a little too late to finish the league, so we're finishing it today. So only 3 rounds instead of 5 for those of you watching on YouTube. For starters, I just want to talk a little bit about the Prowess mechanics. So, Monastery Swiftspear, 1 cost, 1/2 haste Prowess. This is a benchmark red creature. Anything that is going to make it into this style of deck has to be better, or has to. Monastery Swiftspear is the best iteration of this effect. We've had similar things like Soulscar Mage. We're not playing Soulscar Mage today. We've had 2-drops that have similar abilities, but are just not quite as efficient as Monastery Swiftspear. The damage output is just too strong for a deck that's trying to play multiple spells in a single turn. Now, the other 1-drop we are playing alongside Monastery Swiftspear is going to be Dragon Rage Channeler, and I'll talk a little bit about the ability as we combine it with other cards, but suffice it to say that Darcy allows you to fill the graveyard for various effects, including Lava Dart, which is a nice mill over because it feels like drawing a free card. Hitting a Lava Dart out of the graveyard works to kill small creatures. It can pump your Prowess creatures, deal the last 2 points of damage, all at the low cost of sacrificing a land. And when Darcy mills over it, it's like drawing a free card. It's kind of crazy. The removal package in the deck, we're playing 4 Galvanic Discharge, and this is going to combine nicely with the other energy cards in the deck to be our Unholy Heat. And while Unholy Heat is not usually a 4 of in decks like this, the energy generation of Galvanic Discharge, as well as the increase in strong 1 and 2 drops, means that I think that we can afford to play more 1-drop removal spells to interact. A lot of the 2-drop creature / planeswalkers from Modern Horizons 3 are making quite a big splash, and I think the Galvanic Discharge is a great answer for those decks while leaning into our energy package. As I said with Galvanic Discharge, we're playing 4 copies of Lightning Bolt, Old Staple, and 4 copies of Lava Dart. These are ways to deal damage to face or creatures, whereas Galvanic Discharge only hits creatures and planeswalkers. To go along with the Galvanic Discharges, we're playing 4 copies of Amped Raptor. I liken this card to Bloodbraid Elf that only costs 2 mana. Obviously, it dies to Orcish Bowmasters. There's a couple other things that will punish it for having such a small stat line on the toughness bar, but 2 and 1st strike means that your opponent's not going to be blocking it very often because you can combo damage with it with Galvanic Discharge, Lava Dart, Lightning Bolt, and it generates some energy if you hit a 0 or a 1, which can help fuel other cards. Along with Amped Raptor, we're playing 3 copies of Slickshot Show Off. This was the card that I trimmed one of to get a 19th land into the deck. I tried really hard to cut something, and Slickshot Show Off to me was one of the weaker cards just because it costs 2. It leaves you vulnerable to a bunch of cheap interaction at a pretty steep cost for a deck like this. And the fact that it has plot is much better in Pioneer than it is in Modern. In Modern, you get to play it and play Mishra's Bauble or something on the same turn quite often and deal extra damage. And just so the plot's just slightly less relevant. 2 copies of Underworld Breach alongside Lava Dart. Alongside Dragon Rage Channeler, which we discussed earlier. We're able to fill our graveyard for such things as Underworld Breach. And if we have a couple Darcys and a Breach and a Mishra's Bauble, we can draw, a bunch of cards. Even if we don't kill them that turn, we get to maybe kill them on the following turn. The biggest addition to the deck, in my opinion, is going to be Unstable Amulet. For 2 mana, you get an artifact with 2 energy. Whenever you play any spell from anywhere other than your hand, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Now, that's pretty good with Lava Dart. It's pretty good with Underworld Breach, and it's pretty good with Amped Raptor. These are all ways to play things from exile or the graveyard. Unstable Amulet also lets you play things from exile by tapping it and paying 2 energy. You get to reveal a card off the top of the deck. And then when you play that card, it deals the damage to the opponent. So it's kind of like a self-sustaining card advantage engine and damage dealing engine. And alongside Galvanic Discharge and Amped Raptor, we're always going to have energy for it. And if our opponent is not playing something that Galvanic Discharge can kill, we can play Galvanic Discharge and deal 0 damage to one of our own creatures, generate some prowess, and fuel Unstable Amulet for a future use. We're also playing 4 copies of Metamorphose. Metamorphose is not something you see in Prowess too often, but I felt like the ability to hit it off of Amped Raptor would allow for some turns that would not be possible otherwise. Kind of like a Burning Tree Emissary style effect, but one that can trigger all of our Prowess things. Metamorphose also pretty good with Underworld Breach. There is some consideration to playing a 3rd Underworld Breach, playing a 4th Slick Shot, cutting down to 18 lands, and you can mix and match on some of the removal spells, but one concern right now is that you have no sorceries, and so it might actually be difficult to turn on Darcy. We have Artifact. We have 8 artifacts. We got Instant Sorcerer, Creature, Land. So we have 4 that are pretty prevalent, at least 8 of all of them. But that means that we don't have like the offshoots sometimes because we're playing Galvanic Discharge, because we're playing Amped Raptor. We just have a lot of redundant card types, which is a little unfortunate. I still think Darcy's worth though, and we'll see. I haven't had that much trouble turning it on, but I have had it be a 1/1 for multiple turns when I was soft comboing. So, sideboard, we're playing 3 copies of Fable the Mirror Breaker for matchups where we're going a little bit longer. You know, things like Scam. 1 Bone Crusher Giant. This can be extra removal or anti-ring technology. 4 copies of Magebane Lizard. This is a nice one because it dodges Lightning Bolt and Galvanic Discharge out of potential Storm sideboards. You might see a Flame Slash crop up every now and then for Magebane Lizard specifically, but if you play this against Storm and they don't have a way to kill it, they're dead. They're dead. 4 copies of Pick Your Poison. Best sideboard card ever printed, maybe. It's an exceptional sideboard card. It is the reason why we're splashing green, because we already want to play a Surveil land, and so now we just get to play multiple. 2 copies of Cursed Totem. This is mostly for Yawgmoth, but I think this might be an outdated sideboard card. I just thought it was a solid option. And then lastly, we are a Giganta deck, because we don't have any redundant mana values. All right, we're going to play League. We're already 2-0. Let's keep playing. All right, we're on the play here for round number 3. We'll keep this in. Looks pretty solid to me. We'll lead with Darcy into Slick Shot. Maybe kill some stuff on 2 if we need to. And Tandy, what do you think about this deck? I think it's great. That's why I'm playing it. I built it. Put it together. Fighting with it. 2-0 so far. See if we can get the 5-0. You're going to play Living End on 0 reps instead of Prowess. Well, I don't think you should do that. I think Living End is a archetype that really rewards knowledge of common patterns. And I also don't even think Living End is that good right now. All right, so we have no green cards in our deck, so we'll go ahead and just fetch Mountain, deal some damage. Also, that allows... Well, I don't know what it allows for. Just, we don't take that much damage. All right, Phantom, no big deal. We will upkeep Galvanic Discharge this, looking for something to do, since we get basically a free scry. And I'll probably Lava Dart as well. All right, so we'll do 2 to it. I doubt we'll be able to kill this turn, but we do want to get in some extra damage while we can. And then next time we should be able to kill this Underworld Breach. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fetch a Commercial District. A Dart in the Yard. I'm going to dart once face, try to hit Delirium. We hit it. Sick. Oh, we didn't hit it. Creature. I guess we can try one more. We still have the Discharge in the Yard. This makes the Breach a little bit worse, but not that much worse. I just really want to deal this extra damage. I guess we'll keep Metamorphose on top. And now next turn we can go Metamorphose, Breach, Bobble, Bobble, Bobble. So if they don't kill the Slick Shot, they're dead. And even if they do kill the Slick Shot, we have the ability to keep going. I'm assuming that one of our creatures is going to die here, but maybe we'll be able to finish them off anyway. Let's go Raptor to Graveyard to turn on Darcy. And we're just going to go ahead and cast a Breach. I think we'll save the bolt for next turn in case they have 2 kill spells, but I assume that they just have 1. And I just want to draw some cards. We have already played our land. And I'm basically putting everything to the graveyard to keep fueling the Darcy. Haven Interrupter? That's fine. So now they will trade. They'll go to 2, and then we'll kill them with the bolt. Wow, this card is scary good against our deck, if I'm being honest. Alright, so they're going to trade Raptor, go to 2. And now our Breach has plot for 2 extra in case they randomly do something to gain some life here to get around the bolt. Go get our Mountain. Alright, I don't know what they have necessarily, so we're going to attack first. See if they use their mana. We have Bolt to go face. We don't want to Bolt Orchid because they're at 2. We just want to Bolt face. I'll be free because Interruptor's gone. Ooh, good call. I forgot that they're not interlinked. Okay, so they have a bunch of flyers. So pick your poison as a 1 mana removal spell for that. I'll consider these 8. So I think Slickshot Show Off, even though it dealt a lot of damage there, they have a lot of like 2-cost flyers. I'm not sure how good it's going to be. I think I'm just going to have to kill everything and attack with little guys. And play like a longer game. And in those types of games, I don't mind cutting the Manamorphose. I like all of our removal. Could cut a Darcy since we're doing less Slickshot kills. Figure Poison is a sorcery though, so it will make my Darcy a bit better. Why Manamorphose and not Mutagenic? Because Mutagenic's a horrible hit off of Amtraptor most of the time, whereas Manamorphose is a nutty one. The Pro Tour this weekend or next weekend? I believe it's next weekend, Scravagy. Deck looking good? Sure is, Thunder. Something like this seems okay. I like the breaches. I like all the card advantage stuff and just killing all their creatures. Maybe we can cut a fetch land. Since we're in the draw, instead of a... I don't want to cut a basic. Or a fetchable. Or a green source. Because they will attack our mana. In some ways. Alright, Gray Hand we're going to keep. We missed the PUBG of the boys. I haven't played in a month almost. Alright, I'm going to go pick your Poison the Vial. Oh, I drew Stomach Ground. I wish I had just played that instead. But I guess this gets around the what you calls them. Each one sacks an artifact. Leonin Arbiter. Which they have to be playing if they're playing the Knight. At least now everything has to be sorcery speed. Sanctifier Invect. Well, we can't kill that one. That's unfortunate. So it'd also be basically impossible for us to get Darcy online. Let's Raptor and see what we hit. We could hit a 3 here, and that would be bad. Big Noogie coming in with a 62 munch. Did someone say PUBG with the boys? Sure did. Classic Modern Horizons L. What's up, Chronic? Big, are you back in? I haven't played in weeks. Alright, Elegant Parlor on top. They'll probably fetch that, hilariously enough. Yeah, I figured. Gonna say go. Can't really attack. Sanctifier just eats the Amtraptor. If I draw Stomp, I can attack, Stomp something, and then if they block with Sanctifier, it'll die. Unfortunately, I don't think it's possible to get Delirium with Sanctifier on the battlefield. Spotify? Are you trying to just ask what the song is? Classic Modern Horizons 2L. Playing a Fanged Flames for Sanctifier. We could play that 3-drop deal 4. There's all sorts of ways to kill it. They're just not in my deck. There's been a lot of this white weenie shit lately because of the new doggo. I guess we have to leave in the flyer because of it. Alright, well, we're gonna just try to kill with Amulet, I guess. And now Amdraptor also has an extra hit on it too, which is sick. Okay, so we are going to get them here. Is this sorcery speed or anything? Alright, so we go this. We attack with everybody. And they'll block Amtraptor. No! No, I messed up! No, I messed up, chat. It should have been the Bone Man. The Bone Man was on top. I just biffed it. Man, fuck! I had it set up perfect! I had it set up perfect, chat. I'm so mad. I'm mad. Okay, so we'll just try to combo kill them with Slick Shots because they have Sanctifier that we can't get around. I'm gonna remove probably Darcy. Because once they have that in play, I just can't really do anything about it. Probably don't need this many Pick Your Poisons. Man, what a damn misclick, huh? I had them so good too, man. I'm mad. Let's keep. I'll go turn 1, Monster Ice Whisper Bobble, attack for 2, draw a card. Looking for the second land. Yeah, hopefully we'll get this one. That's just like that was like a free win. I found my 1-of out. I had a free win, and I botched it, you know? Just missequenced. I even planned it, right? Yeah, we're going to go to game 4 soon. All right, tapped land on 2, but we have a removal spell for 1-drop, 2-drop. Vial, okay. Unfortunate. Pick Your Poison on top. That sounds pretty good. Let's attack. We'll just say go. I don't want to dart just to deal damage because we know they have a 1-1 that we want to dart probably. And we're going to Pick Your Poison next turn more than likely. They're going to take 3 damage for it. The Sanctifier. It's Wall of Omens. Alright, so let's go exile artifact. We'll attack. And we'll use probably Dart. And if we get Solitude here, it is what it is. Next turn, hopefully they just tap out for something, go Raptor, dig. I wonder if we should Amulet first, but I don't think so. I think Raptor, if they play a creature and any removal of the spell off the top is good, then Raptor seems best. Bigger threat. Oh, they might not have a land. They did take damage from this last turn. We don't want to dart them in response. Alright, so let's... Hopefully we draw a land and it makes this real easy. Alright, I'm gonna... Raptor. Lava Dart face. We're not quite close to killing here, so we'll just attack, and they're chumping with the Orchid. That's great. They're just protecting life total at all costs. We have this Slick Shot show off plus double dart to maybe kill them in a surprise attack. Another Orchid, that's fine. We do have 4 mountains, so it's not a big deal. We've already cast one of our 2 pick your poisons. Alright, land would be nice. Land is death, I think. Alright, so I can amulet, look for a land so I can discharge an attack and progress. I can also just stomp the Orchid. I think because I have the show off. Let's see, hold on. Actually, are they lethal to Slick Shot plus double dart? Slick Shot's 1, 3, 5. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dart this twice. So it's not lethal that away, so we'll just stomp. And then Slick Shot plus double dart next turn should be lethal even without a land drawn. Wall O Omens. Alright, we're just going to go for the kill. They'll block the Swiss Spear probably, and we'll just hope that they don't have Solitude. And even if they do have Solitude, I believe a land off the top is lethal with Bolt, so... Let's see if this kills. And looks great, we'll keep. Opponent is also Giganta. They might be Stormin'. Could be a couple different decks, though. Whatever it is, we have a pretty good draw here. Lassane Meyer. Alright, fetchies. How many? Oh, Godless Shrine Giganta. So they're probably Mardu. Mardu things. Alright, so we'll go Darcy Bolts. We're unlikely to hit Delirium, so I could have fetched, but I wanted to save it for what you calls it. Don't need the lands. A dart would have been nice-ish. Next time we go Manamorphose Amulet, activate, look for something to do. Montagna? Amped Raptor, uh-oh. Finds Discharge. That's what I'm doing. Can't steal my Riz. Modern Horizons 3. Alright, let's go fetching, Stomping Ground. Bobble can Graveyard. Let's go red. Let's go Amulet. Dart Grave. Bobble. Reach on top. This should be a kill next turn. I am gonna, I think, discharge this for 1 so that I can turn the amulet on next turn. See what they draw. Okay, Top's Amulet is fine. If they play Flage and kill this, I likely won't be able to kill them. Because 14 is a little high. But if they just play a creature and tap out and don't kill my Darcy, I think Breach plus Bobble plus Darcy plus the Bolden Hand should be lethal. If they just go Amulet, oh no, Najani, Ajani, Nakado, Pariah. Okay, they should be dead here. After I draw a card, I know I'm drawing the Underworld Breach. All right, so I know I'm drawing the other Underworld Breach. So let's start with Amulet. All right, and now I'm going to Bolt Face. Just for a Graveyard. All right, so now we go. I don't think the Swisser does anything, so I'll just play Bolt as my last thing. Dark goes to the graveyard, perfect. Unstable Amulet does so much damage. Let's cancel. Let's attack with the Darcy for 3. So that way it's just Bolt kill you. But we had them beat by a lot. Alright. So this is going to be a pretty grindy matchup. I think I just want the Bone Crushers and Fables. And I think Slick Shot is going to die to a bunch of 1-mana removal. I think the Lava Darts are kind of mid. We're going to trim 1. Keep everything else. Play a little bit slower game. Probably won't play Raptor on 2. In case I don't want to hit Fable or whatever. So we'll probably play Raptor. If we can play Raptor when we have energy, we will. Just in case we hit Fable or Bone Man. And want to play the 3-drop side. What format is the next Pro Tour? It is Modern. Featuring Modern Horizons 3. And it's a week from Friday, I believe. I'm going to keep this hand because they do have a decent number of creatures in their deck. And we do have Amulet, and Amulet's kind of cracked, I think, especially in like these grindy long games. Because not only does it represent cards, it represents damage as well. Damage that gets around spot removal. I don't know if they'll have ways to attack my lands. I'm not sure my life total is going to be in jeopardy for a while either. Could be wrong on both. But we're going to fetch Darcy. It also maybe lets them think that we have Green's cards in our deck, which we don't. Have you thought about Questing Druid? Yeah, I have. Fable might be worse than Questing Druid. And Questing Druid should be in the main deck over Slickshot's Show Off. But Slickshot's been doing a lot of burst damage, and the Unstable Amulet makes it so that I don't really run out of cards ever. And it also just does a lot of damage at the finish line, so... Well, luckily for me, they put a Damage Sphere in the grave, which means they're probably digging for a land, or they already have a Damage Sphere. Either way. Bummer. We'll probably cut Darcy, I guess, if they're going to do this shit. Alright, let's go Commercial District. I'm just going to dart this thing. Another Darcy. Let's see, we have Creature Instant Land in the graveyard. I think it's just something I can do alongside the Sable Amulet. Let's just leave it. Maybe they won't have another Bowmaster. Alright, so they do have a third land. It's not... Ajani is very scary. Kind of just pressing buttons at random, if I'm being honest. Do 2 damage to the Ajani. Maybe I'll block with Darcy, but I don't think so. I think I'll just let it happen. Next turn we can go Swiss Spear Amulet. Take this 3 damage. They have 5 cards in hand, though. I don't really know what's going on over there. A Johnny, Bowmaster, just both creating extra tokens when they come in. So much pressure. And you just have to kill this Ajani, because if you kill the other thing, it transforms into the most terrifying thing you've ever seen. Any advice on the creatureless hands? Not really. Alright, I'm gonna dart this cat, and I think I'm gonna bench the Swiss Spear now. I don't know if the Fable plan is even viable, honestly. The more I'm seeing it in, like, you know, almost every deck has like a 2-drop that does something pretty similar to Fable now, with all of the new 2-drop Planeswalker creatures and Raptor and all right, let's go. Let's look at the top card before we activate Amulet, because we can actually shuffle. Top card's Discharge. Okay, great. Let's go wheel it off the top. And then next turn we have another Amulet activation. But we can also Amulet first. Draw a card off this here Bobble. I think this version is much trickier with keeping the no creatures, because we have Unstable Amulets to deal a bunch of damage. And Raptor. Let's hope that they hit a Galvanic Discharge or something. I guess if they hit Discharge, they can buff, so no matter what they hit, I'm in trouble. Bowman. Man, their deck is just like the most messed up 2-drops ever printed. Bowmaster, the Johnny, Raptor. It's terrifying. Okay, so we basically just have to combo kill them. So I'm going to just cut the Fables. I'm just going to concede, I think. They're way too high life total. I don't have a way to come back from this, so... Let's go Darden, Slick Shot's back in. I keep cutting Slick Shot and then immediately regretting it. Because I have Bowmaster, I think I'll maybe cut the Darcy's, but I think I should just cut all this shit because it's too expensive. And it's just not a good plan. I'll probably just try a different plan. Because it feels like I don't have the time or resources to be casting 2s and 3s. I saw Sparring Spike playing very similar build to this earlier, and he was playing Ruby Medallion, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, I agree, Sniper. It just is so weak against the 1-drops, but the fact that it has Flying and Haste just means you can kill them out of nowhere sometimes, so I kind of agree with you. Would love to play first. Let's see. I'll keep this in. I'll hold on to the foothills for a turn, probably. That way I have the ability to fetch if I need. A commercial district. Probably fetch Mountain, though, since I already took 2 from this, and seems like their deck is a little more aggressive than I thought. Just like mono 2-drop mythics. Ocelot, that's fine since we have the dart. Hopefully we draw a 1-mana thing we can play. Alright, so let's go for Manamorphose to start. Let's make red. Any 1-drop's dope. Oh, what a good 1-drop. I don't think we should dart here. I think our land's too valuable. Next turn we'll probably fetch Commercial District before we make any other choices. Raptor. It's another Raptor. That's actually probably best case scenario. Great song. Thanks. I agree. So if I play Breach and Dart 1, it's not quite lethal. So let's just attack with both and see what they do. If they go one on each, we can Dart face. If they double block one, we kill one. Let's see how they block. If they double block one, we just Dart 1 and move on with our life. I wonder if I should have breached just to deal 2 damage. I don't think so, though, because I can just get a Manamorphose off of it next turn. But doing nothing this turn sure feels bad. And I'm kind of forced to play the Dart here. Also, I'm not sure on the second commercial district. I think there's arguments for and against. If they don't block at all, I think I just deal them 2, because I don't want to lose my land. Alright, 1 on each, we'll just Dart face and kill both. Well, I have yet to hit a Manamorphose off of Amptraptor, but I assume that when it happens, I'm going to run around the room screaming. Alright, so we'll Dart face. Gonna sack the commercial district. Hold up 2 and pretend I have something. Both their creatures die, they're at 10. I hope I draw Mishra's Bauble, maybe? What can I draw? Maybe on Sabian Amulet's pretty good. Any 1 mana thing's probably good. Just a... I don't know. Any spell's probably fine. We'll see. Deafening Silence. Okay. Probably bad. So I'm probably going to go Breach Swiftspear. Since it's kind of bricked off anyway. They'll probably Bowmaster me. But they might have to fetch a non-swamp. If they don't have a swamp... So we've already played something for the silence. So let's swing on them. Alright, if it's basic swamp plus Bowmaster. Oh, I guess it doesn't have to be swamp. It's basic plain. So here's Bowmaster. They can only kill 1 creature, though. But they can target the 1/2 and then trade the 1/2 with either creature. And they have 3 cards left and they're at either 6/5. But they can also double chump, take less damage. Feel like Lightning Bolt's getting phased out with this set. I mean, Galvanic Discharge is quite good. But Lightning Bolt was already kind of phased out a little bit by Unholy Heat in some decks. I remember thinking it was kind of weird that old Spiring Spike was playing Unholy Heats over Lightning Bolts when he was playing Underworld Breach. But the more I watched them play, the more it made sense. Alright, but there are 5. We have the potential to just draw back-to-back burn spells to kill them. Luckily for me, I don't think that this has lifelink at all. Neither of these. So it's going to be hard for them to gain any life. Pride goes to the grave. Alright, let's see what the top card is so we can plan our bauble. Alright, we'll play bauble. We'll attack with these 2, see what they do. And I'll buy Gigantha probably. They can block with Cat, Bowmaster, and trade, but they might just go double chump. This will transform, but it's not that good at the moment. Jumpies, double. Jumpy, yeah. I will kill the Johnny, leave him with a Cat Warrior, I suppose. Alright, damage. We'll buy a Gigantha. I'll look at their top card so we know what they're drawn. Amulet, that's fine. I should have done it during their upkeep, though, so they can't make me discard whatever I draw. Drew Bolt, nice. So if we draw another Bolt, we can go Bolt my turn, Bolt their turn. We'll probably just play Gigantha, though. Unless something weird happens. Amulet Spellbomb, that's fine. We don't use our graveyard here. They also are screwed by their own Deafening Silence. I don't think I want to trade. Yeah, we're not getting in damage that way, I suppose. Not for some time. Right now, Lightning Bolt's like the only thing I want to draw, though, you know? Well, my turn, Bolt, your turn. It feels like we're very far ahead, but their deck is full of some really powerful stuff. It's all like 1s and 2s, though, so like, if they don't kill this Gigantha, I mean, they're just casting Spellbomb off of Amulet, so I guess they can hit a creature off this Amulet, but then if it's like Raptor can't play anything off of Silence, maybe. Guide. Okay, so they can play the Guide. Deafening Silence does seem pretty good in their deck, in general. Alright, bunch of guides. They still don't have anything that has lifelink. Oh my god, these gain life when you play stuff. I didn't even know that. I knew they were good, though. Alright, let's tag with both. So we can Manamorphose once. And then on their turn, we can Manamorphose. Alright, so these are threatening to trade. I think that's fine. So we'll go Manamorphose. So this is just going to pump so that we trade. And on their turn, we can bolt something. And I might have to end up bolting these guides. Like, we might just have to plan for a longer game because of the Deafening Silence. Non-creature. Man, Deafening Silence is brutal. I did not side in anything to kill it either, which is probably a mistake because of the amulet. Alright, graveyard down. And Alright, so it's going to gain life here, so I think I just have to kill this thing. Guide of Souls. A very powerful 1-drop. And they had Soren too. Wow. I'm in trouble, man. Nice, Taylor. I always feel like I'm going to have a great day when I get my hair cut. Wonder if there's any room for Monstrous Rage in this deck. Seems like probably not in a universe where you can play Mutagenic Growth. Alright, so they gain 2 life. They're going to burn all their energy. Make a big flyer. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna discharge. Let's see, if I discharge Raptor, they might have a Force Soren block. They might be afraid of Bolt, so they might just chump. They just have another freaking. Wow. I'm just gonna concede. A freaking Emrakul? Or is this just Mushroom Eldrazi looking thing? Alright, what you taking? My hand's pretty good. They're on 3 cards after this Thoughtseize out on a mold of 5. Thinking of one of Become Immense? Probably unnecessary. I'd rather just play a 3rd Underworld Breach or a Mutagenic Growth or something. I think it's pretty close, right? I don't think we're quite there yet. There's either something missing or there's just 2 cards that don't really go together. You know, I win. I just win. So they're probably Mono Black Necro Dominance, Grief, be my guess. I don't really think I want to sideboard much. I think that this is a matchup where Lightning Bolt's going to be a bit weak, but overall, I just don't really know what's in their deck other than Swamp Thoughtseize, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But that's just my gut. I think you could make an argument to just like not play Manamorphose in the deck too. That could be like another 1-drop. But I just thought it would be cool off Amp Raptor, but so far it's been kind of mid. It's quite bad against the card Orcish Bowmasters as well. Keep this one. Bellmeyer. Play the Wood Hills, planning to go get Commercial District. Because of my hand, I might play Raptor on 2. But if they just pass with 2 mana up, I'm not going to double bust them. See what the top card is. So they're doing probably the Soul Spike stuff with Soren and Necrodominance. Alright, Manamorphose. Swiss Fair is a great draw. We'll probably just play Raptor. And if we don't want to play the card, we don't have to, but I think we can just play basically everything. It's a good draw too. Definitely not going to dart here. It's not worth enough with the amulets and bolts in hand and stuff. I'm assuming the Slick Shot's going to die. We'll see though. Manamorphose not good. It's not that. It's like we're too heavy on sorceries. Don't have enough. Too heavy on instants, no sorceries. Too heavy on artifacts with Bauble and Amulet. And Manamorphose is not in traditional builds of Prowess for a reason, and it's because it's hard to start your turn with Manamorphose in this style of deck. Okay, so they're Flare of Mouse pitching, and they're going to grief me, but I have Amulet. And then we will sack Raptor. They'll take Amulet. Should have made me discard first, probably, but I don't know. 1 card left in hand over there for them. And luckily for me, they didn't have Scam because they had to play the Malakir. Necro Dominance. How many are you going to do? We might just die to this Necro Dominance. Yeah, I mean, they just paid, what, 10? What are the odds they don't have a way to kill this slick shot? Probably pretty low. So what we have to do is we have to just be on the play, have a really aggressive start, so that when they go for Necrodominus, they don't have a ton. So they got discard 3. We have 4 damage we can hit them with. We have Amulet 2. Soul Spike's gross. The old Soul Spike versus Mono Red deck is tough. So now they only have to discard 1. Top card. A Lava Dart. Now, they only have 5 cards in hand, and with Amulet and Bolt, we can do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if they draw 5 cards, we can kill them in response to like a Soul Spike or something. Alright, so I'll just go Bolt you in response. You counted 9? Yeah, I might have messed up on the math. Alright, let's see how much they do, though. 2 for each dart? Well, the one in the... Oh, it's 6. Yeah, you're right. I think I'll Commercial District. This is probably a mistake. Oh, maybe I should keep the Darcy in case I find another thing. If they find Soul Spike again, I'm in trouble probably. But it costs 2 black cards and the Soul Spike, so it's not even that bad. And if they don't hit it, we can just kill them with burn spells if they go too low. So this dart is 1, 2, and then in the graveyard 6. So if they pay 4 life or more and don't hit a way to gain life, they die. So my guess is they'll probably draw 2 cards. Breach is a win. I mean, most things with Unstable Amulet are a win. That's why Amulet's so strong. Because it's just a lot of extra damage and it's card advantage. They went to 7. And they moved to discard. They discarded a Delta, okay? Alright, let's go look at my top card. Top card is a land. Bummer. Was just another grief probably. Maybe discard Giganta. If it's shoulder, that's bad news. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we probably should have kept Darcy. That was my fault. I also probably should not have cracked Commercial District because then I could punish them. Alright, so I think we still hold on to the dart. Alright, so we're at 9. They're choosing not to draw anymore. So we got like 1 more draw here to look for burn. Under a breach, that should do it. They can't exile my graveyard in response or something, maybe. Alright, let's go bolt you. Okay, cool. So we went 4-1. Let's talk about the things that I liked and didn't like. While I was playing last night, I had 2 matches that were not very close, and my deck felt great. And the thing that really stood out to me as being the weakest part of the deck was uh, the Manamorphoses, I guess. I don't know, man. The Manamorphoses just they're replacement, but they're also just like they make your openers kind of wonky because they're like half a land. And I know that it's like a spell that works with Slick Shot and Bobble and Monster Spear and Underworld Breach and all that stuff. And when you hit off Raptor, it feels good too. So it's I don't know if it's worth cutting necessarily. I'm actually curious if splashing a different color than green is better. I think maybe Static Discharge would be good. And there's also a chance we should just be playing hard Boros and playing the Guide of Souls and the Johnny as well. But I don't think that that's better than what we're doing. The Unstable Amulet, Amped Raptor, Galvanic Discharge core of the energy package is just so strong because the Unstable Amulet is strong. And the deck is kind of built so the Amped Raptor is always going to be pretty good. And Galvanic Discharge was better than Lightning Bolt for me in most of the spots where I was playing it. And so I think that those core 12 need to stay. There could be a third Underworld Breach. There could be a fourth Slick Shot. You can cut the 4 Manamorphose if you want to. Maybe even only play like 2 Manamorphose is probably be fine. Since we don't have cost reduction, it's cycling. It's not actually generating anything. Earlier today, Aspiring Spike was playing a build that had Ruby Medallion in it that looked pretty cool. I'm not sold on the Pick Your Poisons. Magebane Lizard's pretty good. I think Fable is bad. I think I would just cut them. You could play Questing Druid if you really want some more card advantage stuff in the sideboard. But I think maybe white for Static Prison is better than Pick Your Poison, and so maybe white for Flage in the sideboard is maybe a bit better. With that said, Flage in this deck is kind of tough because we do want to sack our lands to Lava Dart in some spots pretty aggressively. But it's a very cool card, and you can fuel it with Darcy as well. So certainly something to keep in mind. If we cut Manamorphose, you probably need to find some sorcery to put in. I've had a couple weird thoughts, like for Boros Charm maybe. But maybe some sort of modal spell with Raptor is better, so they can be a threat or interaction. And I'm not sure what that would necessarily be. I also think there's some chance that there's an old energy generator that we're forgetting about. This may be worth playing. Maybe splashing black for the Glint Sleeve Siphoner or something. But probably not. That seems like a little too weird. Anyway, this is Energy Prowess. I'm Tandy. I write articles on my Patreon. You can check it out at patreon.com/Tandy for sideboard guides. I recently have written a lot of articles with Modern Horizons 3 brews. Little, 1,000-word articles with cool deck lists for people who are just super interested in new stuff. Thank you so much to Games of Comics Pair O Dice. Games of Comics Pair O Dice is a game store out of Fairfax, Virginia, specializing in trading card games. Check out gcpairodice.com and pick you up some singles for Magic or Disney's Lorcana today. Moxfield.com is a website used for building and sharing deck lists. We use it here. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to check out the video or the link description of the video, and you can find a link to our Moxfield page with this deck list. Also, thank you so much to Apex Gaming. Apex Gaming is a game store out of Caldwell, Ohio, with a tournament series that Ross Merrim and myself do commentary for. ApexGaming.gg for more info on the tournament series. Our next event is mid-July. It's going to be a double Modern Open weekend, so check out ApexGaming.gg for more info. That's it for today. Thanks for hanging. We'll see you next time.